Commission eyes big Nights of Lights boost, impact fees, and major rezoning requests at September 2nd meeting. The St. Johns County Board of County Commissioners will meet Tuesday, September 2nd at 9 a.m. in the County Auditorium at 500 San Sebastian View in St. Augustine. The meeting opens with a proclamation recognizing Library Card Sign-Up Month and includes a retirement recognition for Gordon Wilson, Superintendent of the Castillo de San Marcos and Fort Matanzas National Monuments. Following that, the board will review two major funding-related agenda items. First, the commissioners will consider a $1 million funding request from the city of St. Augustine to enhance the upcoming Nights of Light celebration. The Tourist Development Council has already presented funding options totaling $850,000. Final direction on whether the funding will be included in the fiscal year 2026 county budget is expected at that meeting. Next, staff will present proposed updates to the county's impact fee schedule. These revisions reflect discussions from earlier this year and will guide future infrastructure funding for development across the county. In District 5, commissioners will hear a request to rezone and amend future land use maps for approximately 11 acres of land near St. Mark's Pond Boulevard. The request would allow up to 4 single-family homes under a site-specific residential designation. Two companion items in District 3 involving United Rentals, one for a zoning variance, the other for a rezoning, are also up for public hearing. Both proposals received unanimous recommendations for denial by Planning and Zoning Agency earlier this month. Also on the agenda, the first reading of an ordinance to establish an agricultural advisory board. If approved, the 7-member committee would provide recommendations on matters affecting active farmland and rural interest in the county. The board will also consider appointments to 2 critical volunteer boards, the Cultural Resource Review Board and Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. Dozens of applicants have submitted their names to fill 5 vacant seats across the 2 boards, with recommendations under review from staff and current board members. The consent agenda includes over 25 items ranging from infrastructure easements and utility agreements to grant appropriations, sidewalk projects, trail repairs, drainage improvements, and renovations to the St. Johns County Tax Collector's Annex Office. Also of note, a new non-motorized trail extension agreement from Pope Road and Red Cox Drive, and a naming resolution for the children's room at the new Hastings Community Center and Library. You can watch the full meeting on GovTV, available in the GovTV section of the 904 Now app, or by visiting the 904now.goodbarber.app.
Whew, that was a long story.
That's a long story.
Yeah, I said before that was a long, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, it's going to come to an end. And it didn't come to an end for a while. The important one on that county meeting is the TDC money and how the county is going to vote on whether or not the city is going to get the money.
Okay.
And how it works is TDC is an advisory board. We felt that they deserved the money. How the county was going to give the money was up to the county. If they did it at all, because it goes to the commissioners, and the commissioners make the decision.
Yeah.
The commissioners, I've been talking to the commissioners quite a bit because I was, one of the ones that was, trying to figure it out from TDC side.
Yeah.
So they consulted with me. Okay, what was the thinking of you when you made this statement? Mm-hmm. And so I've been talking to them. All of them want to give the money to the city, but they also have to have backup information so they don't violate their own county purchasing. They can't look at the city any differently than they can look at I hate to throw it out there, but Limelight or one of those that also gets TDC funds.
Yeah.
So they have to have the backup information. I know the city's been working hard to kind of provide that backup information. I don't know if they have it all together enough for the commissioners to make a vote on it today.
Okay.
But in my opinion, if they handle it similar to the way they handle Category 2 and Category 3, which it also gets grants for different groups. Category 3 is the sports side of it. Category 2 is the arts side of it. But it's kind of a reimbursable grant. And I think that might be the way to handle it and still accomplish what the city needs to accomplish and accomplish what the county needs to cover themselves. So, I mean, this whole Doge thing has people on edge a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you can't just like, oh, I'll just write you an open check and you fill in the blank.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. You got to have those checks and balances.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they're going to get there today. It'll be interesting to see how it goes back and forth. But the city put in a request thinking that was, because they've never had to put in a request like this before, so they didn't know.
Yeah.
There was no procedure in place, so both of them were kind of at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So hopefully they clean it up today procedurally, and the city gets the money that they need to do what they need to do.
Yeah. I mean, on one side, you don't want it to be too nitpicky and in the weeds that you can't get done what you need to get done. But on the other hand, you also don't want there to be a loophole where you can just write a blank check from a government coffer and anyone could do that.
Well, and if you give $1 million, I mean, it's 850,000. I think they asked it like 1.2, and 850 was what was possibly available to them. I mean, you can't just go to the bank. They don't just say, "Oh, here you go."
Yeah.
Do you want they
they
ask for 9,000 different questions before you get that loan, and this is a similar situation. You got to make sure the deliverables are there.
Yeah.
So
right on.
So I think they'll figure it out. So I'm hoping so.
That'll be interesting to see how that meeting plays out.
Yep.